Hey there YouTube, it's PC the Unicorn. I have an interesting history with Miraculous Ladybug. While I do enjoy the show, I didn't care much for it when I first saw it on Nickelodeon. I was caught off guard by how the first episode just started in the middle of the show's story, instead of providing important details such as how Adrienne and Marionette became superheroes. I found some of the voice acting to be really weak. The animation came off as a bit stiff, and lines such as "evil eyes" and "de-evil eyes" were very cheesy. I'm not exactly sure what led me to giving the show another chance, but I think it was because of how often I saw it trending on Tumblr. So I went ahead and watched season 1, which, while not bad, was just okay. There were some episodes that I really enjoyed, such as Puppeteer, Simon Says, and Volpina, but I still found the show to just be okay while also being riddled with problems. It wasn't until the two-part season finale Origins did I become more invested in the show. If the show would have opened with these two episodes instead of ending the first season with them, I probably would have been more invested in the show from the get-go. Though I suppose it got the job done since the finale made me decide to stick with the show since I was interested in seeing what happens next. I found season 2 to be a huge improvement over season 1 since there was actual plot progression, and we began learning more things about the Miraculouses and Hawkmoth while even getting new Miraculous users. However, even though I enjoyed season 2, it also has its fair share of problems, and with the episodes of season 3 that have aired so far, I've realized that while the show has improved, it has a lot of problems. Or to be more accurate, 5 problems. Chloe Redemption Arc. Ever since Chloe appeared, I despised her as a character. Just like most typical bullies in modern cartoons, she is shallow, mean-spirited, manipulative, and is just a character that you want to see get punched in the face by the protagonist of the show. Now, when I first heard about the possibility about Chloe of all characters getting a Miraculous and becoming a superhero, I was skeptical. She was the last person who deserved to be a superhero, but I figured that maybe she would be slowly getting a redemption arc and become a better character. It has been done with previous bully characters in other animated series I have watched and is normally done well. At first, that seemed to be the case with the episode Despair Bear, since it had Adrienne telling Chloe that she needed to become a nicer person if she still wants to be his friend. We even get a brief glimpse and understand as to why Chloe is the way she is and how she and Adrienne even became friends in the first place. In the episode, she demonstrates that she's capable of being nice, but ends up going back to her normal mean and bratty self by the end of the episode. In the episode Zombie Zoo, Chloe acts like her normal self by sabotaging Marionette's present for the teacher because of how jealous she felt. Throughout the entire episode, all the students keep calling out Chloe for her behavior about how selfish she is, with her being very ungrateful almost every time someone helps her. She does apologize to the teacher at the end of the episode, but she refuses to apologize to the rest of the class even though what happened was entirely her fault. The whole Chloe act mean, apologize for something, and then proceed to still be a bully is repeated a couple more times, and that right there is the problem. Every time she takes one step forward into becoming a better character, she ends up taking 10 steps backwards in the very next episode. Now, I understand that it takes a while for a person to change after being the way they have been for such a long time. What makes Pacifica from Gravity Falls better than Chloe is that even though she still acts like a spoiled brat, you at least see her trying to become a better person. If Chloe is going to be redeemed, then she should have the things she learned stick with her and not keep taking steps backward in her development. Adrienne getting the short end of the stick. Despite the show being called Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, the show tends to focus more on Marionette than Adrienne, which I think is unfair. Adrienne is just as important of a character as Marionette considering how his name is also in the title of the show. Yet almost all of the episodes are mainly from Marionette's point of view. Even the intro focuses more on Marinette than Adrienne. Sure, Marinette is the only one who can get rid of the Akumas, but that doesn't mean we can't get a good balance of episodes being told from both main characters' point of views. Though it's not only the lack of screen time that Adrienne gets that bothers me. Every time the show has a villain with mind control powers, Adrienne always gets mind controlled. It was interesting the first time, but it starts getting very annoying after the 5th or 6th time. Here's a crazy idea. Instead of having Adrienne be mind controlled with Marinette having to fight him, why not switch it up in which it's Adrienne who have to fight a mind controlled Marinette? It's also annoying how Adrienne didn't know about Master Fu for the longest time, and even after we see him meet him in Siren, we haven't seen any more interactions between the two, yet we have gotten plenty between him and Marinette. I was totally on Adrienne's side in that episode, since it's been stated multiple times that the cat Miraculous is as important as the Ladybug Miraculous. So you would think that Adrienne would be in the loop about things such as who is Volpina and where Ladybug get the extra Miraculouses, but he couldn't for some weird reason. Adrienne is just as important as Marinette, yet the show ignores him almost as badly as Gabrielle does. Slow plot progression. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, I found season 1 to just be okay. This was mainly because of how repetitive season 1 was and how there wasn't really any plot progression till near the end of the season. While season 2 and 3 have been an improvement, the plot progression in this show is still pretty slow. As I record this video, there are a total of 59 episodes of the show out, and here are some of the things we still don't know. What was Adrienne's mother like? Why does Gabrielle have a butterfly grove? How did Gabrielle meet Adrienne's mother? Why is Adrienne's mother in the capsule? How did Gabrielle get the butterfly and peacock Miraculous? How did Natalie learn about Gabrielle's life as Hawkmoth? How did Gabrielle get the Miraculous spellbook? I understand having a slow burn mystery, but there's a difference between a slow burn and taking forever to reveal information. It's also just not these questions that are taking forever to be answered, but also just general story beats. The main two that comes to mind is Adrienne realizing that Marinette has romantic feeling for him, and their identities being learned by each other. As funny as the "she's just a friend" joke is, it's really getting annoying how Adrienne is still convinced that Marinette doesn't have a crush on him after all of the obvious hints. I know a character being incredibly dense about someone liking them is nothing new, but because of how often the show teases viewer with Adrienne possibly thinking Marinette have feelings for him, only to immediately dismiss it, it gets frustrating. Adrienne learning that Marinette have a crush on him offers some interesting story opportunities, but the staff wants to stretch out this revelation as long as possible. Then of course, there's Adrienne and Marinette learning each other identities. I don't think I wouldn't even mind their identities not being learned by each other yet if the show didn't keep on rickrolling the viewers. I understand wanting to stretch out the reveal for as long as possible, since when the revelation happens, it will be this huge moment in the show. But if you just keep on teasing it and teasing it and teasing it, it just ends up frustrating fans of the show. Introducing and dropping plot points and characters. While it's not as big of a problem as it was in season 1, I find it annoying how often the show will introduce something only to drop it or not even bothering explaining something introduced. One good example I can think of is the episode Animan, in which Nino suddenly have a crush on Marinette. Keep in mind, this is the 17th episode of season 1 and there have been no hints to suggest that Nino had a romantic interest in Marinette. Yet for some reason, Nino suddenly has a ding for Marinette, which comes out of nowhere. Then you have an episode like Illustrator, in which it's revealed that a character named Nathaniel has a crush on Marinette, but after he gets decumatized, his crush on Marinette is never brought up again, with the two not even having a talk about it at the end of the episode. An even bigger plot point that hasn't been addressed since the start of Season 2 is finding out Hawkmoth's identity. Marinette and Adrienne are basically in a standstill right now with Hawkmoth, so you would think they would try to come up with some form of plan to possibly find Hawkmoth so they don't have to worry about constant supervillain attacks anymore. Yet for some reason, they don't. I also find the fact that the show will introduce new characters and either forget about them or not bother reintroducing them for the longest time to be frustrating. I remember being really interested in Lilia and wanting to see more of her because she has a grudge against Ladybug due to what she did to her. However, after debuting in one of the better episodes of Season 1, she doesn't show up again until the Season 2 finale. Then you have poor Nino, who was barely relevant in Season 2 compared to Season 1, with there barely being any scenes of Adrienne and Nino hanging out together. Despite him being the best friend of a main character just like Alia, Nino was pushed to the background for most of Season 2. And don't even get me started on how the show loved giving characters siblings that were never mentioned until the episode they debuted in. Adrienne and Marinette romance. Romance is a big factor in the show, and I think it's safe to say that a good majority of the fandom ship Adrienne and Marinette with each other. Now, I'd be fine with the romance between the two if the show bothered doing something with it. Now, before you all start typing in the comments, let me explain myself. Yes, the two would make a cute couple, and yes, the two have become closer as the series have gone on. However, I feel like the show should do what they seem to tease with the introduction of Kagami and Luca. That being that Adrienne and Marinette move on from their crushes, at least temporarily. To be clear, it's not that I don't want Adrienne and Marinette to become a couple, but I feel like them dating other people would serve as good character development. While it may come off as cute, Adrienne constantly flirting with Ladybug as Cat Noir even after learning that she's in love with someone else, and saying that her friendship is enough makes him seem like someone who can't take no for an answer. Say what you will about Allowance, but at least Lance slowly stopped flirting with Aloha every second he got. Then you got Marinette, whose feelings for Adrienne sometimes result in her doing dumb things such as attacking Santa without thinking it through, or how she humiliated Lilia in front of Adrienne. Marinette's biggest flaw as a character is how her love for Adrienne make her do some crazy things. So you get the feeling that until Marinette can learn to tone it down, maybe she's better off being in a relationship with someone else. I like Miraculous Ladybug and will probably continue to watch the show just to see how things play out because I am curious about what direction the show will go in. But it still has a lot of problems that really need to be fixed. So I'm curious to hear what you have to say. What do you think are some of Miraculous Ladybug's biggest problems? Do you agree with any of the ones I listed? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and click the bell button so you'll be notified when I make a new video. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find the links to them in the description box below. Until next time, this is PC, logging off.